Hi YouTube. This is the video on how to get rid of those emotional vampires in your life. And I'm hopefully going to be able to explain how you can rid yourself of energy-sucking friends. The first thing that all of the emotional vampires and their victims have in common is what I like to call the dance. And it was explained to me years and years ago by an elderly woman when I asked her a question about a particular couple who seemed so vile together. They were always just so mean and hurtful to each other, and I couldn't understand why people like that would want to even stay married. And she said, it's because it's their dance. And I was confused, and she said, it's their dance. They each get something out of every tango they do together. And that made a lot of sense to me. So the first thing in getting rid of the person you're dancing with, your emotional vampire, is to examine what you're getting out of the confrontations in the relationship that you have with this person. What is it that you get out of it as a person, as a friend, as a lover, as a relative, whatever the person may be to you? And that's a really important thing, because emotional vampires, I don't think, start out to become those. They probably truly did have an experience where they were the victim, but they stayed in the victim role, and they became and created themselves to be the biggest victim of all. And they didn't have to look far to find abusers, but then they had to create abusers, because most people who abuse do it out of a sense of power, a sense of domineering, and you cannot overpower and domineer an already submissive person. So they run out of abusers quickly, so they have to create them. And you play a part in that somehow. By opening the door and allowing them in, there is something inside of you that gets something out of this dance, whether it's a justified bitch in your life, something that you can bitch about and you're justified to do it, and you put off all the frustrations that you have on that person. You just figure that person frustrates you so much as it is, that they're your garbage dumping ground. All you're doing is validating that they are the victim. And a lot of emotional vampires do end up being other people's whipping boards, so to speak, because they're used to being the victim. They've created hostility between them and the person they're involved with, and that person feels that they're justified to unleash the frustration that they do have towards the emotional vampire, but they also end up unleashing their frustration on other areas of their life on that person instead of dealing with those areas. So is this emotional vampire still part of your life because it's a convenient person to blame everything on or to drop everything on? It's so important that you find out what it is. Does this person still part of your life because you need to feel needed? Is their needy way the way that they need your emotion, your emotional strength, so they can zap it, and so they create this victim role, and you're the hero that comes riding along as they're draining your energy, and you're, it's okay, it's okay. Are you getting some form of satisfaction of, I'm a good person, look what I'm doing? And is that feeding your ego to the point where it outweighs the negative of the emotional vampire, and it keeps that person in your life. And that's another common trap. So you have to look at whether the emotional vampire in your life is someone you use conveniently as a person to blame for everything, or a whipping board, or do you use the emotional vampire in your life for ego purposes, to show the rest of the world what a good person you are, what a good friend you are? Are they your trophy that you set on the shelf when you want to shine for other people, and you shove in the drawer when you don't want to be reminded of it? That's the second thing that could be what you're getting out of the relationship. Or thirdly, are you a confrontational person who just needs the confrontation? Do you need to have the dance? Do you enjoy knowing that you can manipulate as well as be manipulated? So those are the aspects you need to look at, because there's a reason this person's still part of your life. You somehow, for some reason, are allowing them to remain there and drain you, because you're getting something out of the dance as well. I grant you, you're getting the short end of the stick, because being drained can never leave anyone feeling good. So how do we tackle it after we discover what it is? Well, it's important to know what you're getting from it so that you can fill that gap with something else. So understanding the dance is the first step in ridding yourself of an emotional vampire. So this is going to have to be a series, because this is pretty in-depth stuff. So part 2 of ridding ourselves of the EVs will be on how to rid yourself of an EV who is a friend or a coworker or a casual acquaintance, someone who is not related to you or someone that you're not romantically involved with. So video 2 coming up, how to rid yourself of that that energy sucking friend. Have a good day, YouTube.